Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a weekly garden tour. It's now the middle of November. Time is just like evaporating without explanation. And of course we've had a couple of really hard frosts about 2 weeks ago. Then it's gotten really warm and it's super duper dry. And I have made a bit of progress getting some of the gardens cleaned up from the frost and replanted in time to be able to show germination rates for some of the seeds that we're going to be selling this weekend, Saturday, November 18th, and Sunday, November 19th, from 2 to 4 p.m. during our seed sale and cottage gardening demonstration. Now, this is a free, no registration, rain or shine event. Right now, the weather is looking really great. I do have all the seeds set up in the Airbnb, and I'm going to include a preview of everything that we have available in this video. But let me do a quick walkabout so that you can all see how everything is looking here in my Zone 7 Central North Carolina garden in the middle of November. Well, we'll start right here in the driveway bed. You can see that the mangaves are still on the wall. They're looking great. I don't really have to worry about the mangave until we have temperatures really below 20. So for now, they're gonna stay. I do have a bunch of plants staged here. I did a lot of containers, and my plan is in the next day or so to get this side of the wall replanted. I think I'm gonna do a mix of violas and cabbages and broccoli. And I've been debating on whether I should do the snapdragons at the top. But the thing is, if I do the snapdragons at the top, I won't be able to cover the wall very easily if we do get really cold. So I might end up using the snapdragons in one of the beds that haven't been cleaned up yet. So you'll have to stay tuned for an upcoming video when I finally make a decision about what the final arrangement for this east side of the wall will be. Well, as you can see, a lot of leaves have not fallen here yet, and that's pretty normal. I did get some of the containers redone. I'm really loving these. I know I mentioned in the video where I showed doing this, a lot of time these ornamental cabbages don't really make it through the whole winter, but I just couldn't resist. They're so pretty, and for now I think they look great. Now, in contrast, that bed does not look great. And it was on my list to clear today, and I still might do it, but I got distracted cleaning the Airbnb. So I was still doing work, I was just doing different kind of work. Now I have a ton of zinnias to collect seed from. So, you know, I'm definitely gonna be strategic in my approach to cleaning all of this, but it's time. I'd like to have this bed and the wave completely cleared in time for this weekend's seed sale and demonstration, because we're going to be doing hands-on demonstrations showing people exactly how to sow the seeds in a bed like this, and also we'll plant the wave and a handful of other spaces in the garden. So you could tell I haven't actually done any cleaning out here in the front borders at all. I've put all my energy out back, and that's because we had a party out back over the weekend and I wanted it to look nice. So this week, the goal is to get all of this cleaned up. And again, I'll be making videos showing you that process in each space, but wanted to show you the before. So when those videos come out, you'll have the satisfaction of seeing the after. Well, it's time for the Lindera salicifolia, or glauca, I'm not sure what its species name is now, to start turning its colors. And the next couple of weeks, this will probably be the plant I show the most of. And it's tardily deciduous, so all winter it holds the foliage as a sort of a tannish color. But it goes through a really remarkable stage and is usually in full color for Thanksgiving. And speaking of which, I redid this window box so that it would look good for the holidays coming up. And I don't have anything planted at all. This is just stuff that's cut and stuck into soil cube. And you know, I'll refresh this again after Thanksgiving, but for right now I'm really pleased with how this looks. All the hydrangea paniculata flowers and the different conifers, and then the tall are actually just the seed stalks from Rudbeckia, some black-eyed Susans. Well, as I walk along the north side, the shining star right now is this maple, which is native to Taiwan, and its species name is one that I don't say properly, Oliverianum, I'm not sure. We coppiced this last year. You can see, like, we literally cut the trunks down, and then all of these new branches came out, and that was just to try and manage its size. It really is a terrific plant for fall color, and I really like the dark green bark of the new growth. So I think using this as a coppice tree is actually a pretty good decision, especially when you have it in a spot with so much overhead competition from the live oak and then the Chinese fringe tree there. Now, hopefully you enjoyed the tour from the Sabios. They have way better fall color than I do. You can see this Japanese maple. This is Acer japonicum aconitifolium. Didn't color up at all because it got nipped by frost too early, which is quite sad. But I am pleased that a lot of my osmanthus are starting to bloom. And, you know, they're not as fragrant as the ones that were blooming a month ago, but they still have a nice scent. And on warmer days, you can smell them better. And I was really pleased to see that October Affair has started to put on some blooms. And you can see this is just such a spectacular flower. I love how those petals are stacked and how they curl inward. It's one of my all-time favorite Camellia japonicas. You can see that the Mahonia eurybracteata, these are just seedlings that I have, are also starting to bloom. And you see, you've got some pollinators. I think that's a yellow jacket, but a pollinator nonetheless. Enjoying that. And, you know, it's... This side of the garden is kind of more interesting in the winter, but it's not looking terrible, so that's something. And of course, I love all the mums. It's definitely mum season in my garden, and I love using them in floating flower arrangements. This is one called Jason's Grandma I got from my friend Jason Reeves in Tennessee. And here you can see that heavy berry, beauty berry, the Calicarpa. Is one that Camellia Forest always sold. Really is an extraordinary berry form. And then here you can see a little bit of fall color on my Sengukaku. Again, all of my plants are so exposed compared to David Sabio, who gardens under high pine shade. And I didn't get good fall color this year because of the frost. You know, the leaves just sort of burnt up from the cold. What's interesting that did not burn up is the mangave flower spike coming out of here. This is Spotty Dotty, and you can see how tall this flower spike is, and it is still blooming. And well, I'm pretty excited about it. It would be great to get some seed set. You never know what you get. Well, it is arugula season, and I've been harvesting a lot for salads. And, you know, all of this is self-sown. That whole bed in there is all self-sown arugula. It's one of my favorites to eat. I eat it raw. I like to cook it. But what I really appreciate about it is that the deer leave it alone. And boy, do I have a deer family that is going absolutely crazy here, eating everything. Now I've got some cleanup to do along this border. I'm not like stressing out about anything. I'm gonna get to it as I get to it. But I have done these beds. So let me give you an up close view. Well, once I'm done making this video, I need to water everything because it's super duper dry. Even though it was like crappy and cold and rainy as we were setting up for the party on Saturday, it wasn't enough rain to count. But this bed doesn't look like much is germinating yet. That's not true. Things are starting to germinate very, very good. I did this mid last week, and at this time of year, if you can keep things watered, things will germinate typically in under a week. Now over here, those of you who said my cattle fence panels were too low, you were correct. And we've now added taller cattle fence panels because the deer came in immediately and ate every single viola. But the good news is the spicy greens mix is all germinating, as are the California poppies. So that's what the California poppies look like. And then this is what the spicy greens mix, these little kind of double hearts as the cotyledon leaves come out. So I'm really pleased to see good ground plane coverage. 2 weeks from now, you won't really even be able to see the open mulch space, which is always the goal. And hopefully that'll also help protect the violas and they'll grow back out. The deer certainly did what they do. No big surprise. I'm also pleased to show you that the garlic that was planted as cloves is all starting to grow up as well. So it won't be long and this bed will actually look a lot more interesting than it does right now, and maybe I'll be able to take some of the cattle fence away so it won't look like jail. Right now it definitely looks like a prison. Now over here in this bed, again, you can see good germination just starting, but it is bone dry. Look at this, it's like powder. You know, so I've got to pull out the hose and water everything really, really well. I'm definitely pleased to see good germination in this as well. It's all gonna look awesome eventually. Takes a little time, especially when you're doing everything from seed. But again, you can see this side, really good germination rate and everything. And I did the cottage garden mix in here. So that's gonna have like larkspur and poppies and other cool flowering plants. And as you can see, we're still set up for the party we had. And I think actually we're gonna leave this up so that during Saturday and Sunday's seed demonstrations, people can come and drink a beer or have some wine or some refreshments and hang out and enjoy the garden. That's always my goal. I like to have the garden filled with people. And look, you guys, it really is a fire pit. I don't think I've ever shown this as a fire pit on YouTube. I always have the granite on top with plants, but we used it on Saturday and it was so nice. And obviously we moved a bunch of pots and we added more seating so that people could actually use the bed. And I think we're gonna leave it this way for the winter and actually do some fires this year. This fire pit is really it really is a great thing to do fires in. It works very well. And you can see the containers that I redid on Friday, today is Monday, are looking really nice. A huge improvement to the deeply frosted summer plants that were there. And you might remember that I planted broccoli probably about 8 weeks ago, and pleased to show it is starting to head. This is the broccoli I bought from Bell's Seed back in September. Of course, I've got more last week from Bell's, which I'm thrilled about. And you can see these mangaves. I've left these out because the pot's so big, and I figured we'll deal with it when more cold weather starts to come on the forecast. Right now we have no freezing temperatures in the 10-day, but these are all doing fine. And again, to give you an up-close view of that self-sown arugula. Now I have some sweet potatoes to harvest, but you can see so much arugula. We could eat arugula 5 times a day and never run out. And we did get this cleaned up and replanted, which is awesome. So this is all cauliflower in here. And then in these areas, this is the stuff we planted from Bell's back in September. had it covered with the Rime back there to protect from heat. And it worked. And not only did it protect from heat, but it really helped with the cabbage worms. So this entire thing is all cabbage. And I think we'll be able to get some relatively soon. It's starting to head. And these are a mix of cauliflower and broccolis. So really pleased with how all of this looks. And now that it's all uncovered and accessible, I can make sure to keep it watered much better than I was doing. Now I'm leaving this bed so that we can do a demonstration using the electric lawnmower to mow all the stuff down and then do more sowing. But of course we have a lot of stuff self-seeding in here because we have a big seed bank. And so let me show you what some of this stuff is. So first of all, I seeded calendula back, I think, in September. Those are growing. And then this rounder leaf right here, this is larkspur. In contrast, this more elongated leaf, that's nigella. And I've got a really amazing mix of both, basically all throughout here. I'd say the only thing I don't see are poppies. So when we do the demonstration for this bed, we will be adding poppies to our mix, or to the mix. But I think it'll be really beneficial for everybody to see a bed that hasn't already been cleaned. Aidan and I will clean it up real quick, and then we'll give everybody a handful of seeds to be able to toss in and create a really cool cottage garden. And along here, I really wanted to show you the barley that we did in early September. It's huge. The deer are laying in it because apparently it's soft. Actually, I've also seen the cats kind of running around through here. But it's so great because there are no weeds here, right? The barley did its job. It's preventing problem plants from getting established. I should have sown barley everywhere because I have got a huge weed patch with chickweed and lamium and the worst one, Velcro weed, all throughout here. So I have some serious work ahead of me. And, well, it's just staggering what can happen when you have open ground space. You've got to cover your ground with plants, otherwise bad plants are going to get established. Just wanted to give you a far distance shot of that Taxodium. It's starting to get some color, and I bet by the end of the week it'll be completely glowing. It's such a magnificent tree. That's a bald cypress, Taxodium distichum. I did get along the Airbnb back porch cleaned up and kind of replanted with some cool season stuff. We're going to do some seeding demonstrations here as well on Saturday and Sunday. And one of my main goals this week is to get this pumpkin patch cleared so that we can also use this for the seeding demonstrations. And you know how I said a few weeks ago, I'm sure we'll find more when the leaves all burn off. Well, look what's dangling there. A big old cushaw squash that I'm going to go ahead and harvest now. I have been eating these. Oh my gosh, I think I need my pruners. I've been eating these and it looks like this one has had some insects get in, but that's okay. I'll just cut it open. I've been roasting these 400 degrees for an hour and they are so delicious. Oh my gosh, I cannot even explain how good these squash are. And as we walk up this way, you can see that more mangaves have started to put on flower spikes. And I think the deer actually nibbled this one off, which is too bad. I'm gonna just leave it alone, see what happens to them. It looks like the hard frost has already done a lot of damage, so the likelihood of them being hardy in the ground is very slim. In fact, just go ahead and break that one off. But, you know, good experiment. And I wanted to show you the jet stream oak leaf hydrangea. This is looking spectacular despite the incredible dryness of the ground right now. Beautiful fall color. I love it with the spent blooms on. And I have some big plans for doing these containers in the next couple of days. And just to give you a quick pan of the native borders, the white cloud Muhlenbergia really is the star of the show. I'd say when in doubt, plant more white cloud. I think it's better than pink muley. Now, I think these pink muleys got too dry over the summer and over the winter or over the fall, but they look terrible compared to the white cloud. I mean, this is a great place to stand so you can really compare the difference. And white cloud is just so incredible, and you see it lights up even that far bed over there. It really is the plant that I think ties the beds together, and I'll definitely be doing more. I'll be adding more. I'm even tempted to pull out the pink muley and put them out in the neighborhood entryway and fill in all those spaces with white cloud in this bed or in this garden. Just because I think that the white cloud looks so much better. But overall, I'm really pleased with these beds, and I'm really excited about breaking ground on a big garden over there in the middle of all that turf. Again, realistically, that's going to be a ways off. But, you know, always fun to have plans in the back of your head and thinking about stuff and what do you want it to look like. And as we walk closer to the house, I'm really pleased with how well all the garlic is doing that Callie and I planted. You can see we've got a nice big garlic edge. Remember, this native border has 100 garlics added so that we will have something to harvest. Again, those white cloud muleys, there's just nothing that compares. They're so spectacular. And inside the Carolina Garden House, I have got the seeds all set up for the sale on Saturday and Sunday. And I went ahead and decorated the tree just because I think it looks so pretty. But let me go through and show you what we will have available for sale. All right, so we've got a few containers of campion, sweet blue lupins, bachelor buttons, nigella, lunaria, corn poppies, breadseed poppies. We have the flowering greens mix, kale, mustard, and canola oil seed. Then we've got spicy greens mix, which is curly mustard, dwarf Siberian kale, rainbow chard, and butter crunch lettuce. Buckwheat, which is better to be sown more in March, but I have it, so I'm going to put it out. Same thing with the white cloud clover and the traditional crimson clover. I think at this stage, they're better to be sown in March, but I won't be having any seed sales between now and March, so that's why I have them out. Carrots, purple top turnips, got daikon radish, we've got rye, wheat, oats, and barley. And for this very special first time ever November seed sale and cottage garden demonstration, decided to keep things super simple. All seed packs are $5 a piece. So you don't have to do much calculation, makes it really, really easy. And as I've mentioned, we're gonna be doing demonstrations when we have groups of people here. So we're going to be open Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. And the goal is that we'll do a seeding demonstration at 2:30 and another at 3:30 each of the days so that people can have the hands-on experience of actually tossing the seeds in the bed or doing the grains as clumps and really making a designed space. That way you won't be intimidated when you take the seeds home and plant them in your own garden. So we're very excited about welcoming people. And as I mentioned, it's free, no registration, rain or shine. Thankfully, we blocked the Airbnb so that we could have the seed sale in here. And we'll totally have beverages and just make it a really fun and enjoyable afternoon for everybody. And I did go ahead and get a little excited about decorating for the holidays. So maybe you'll even get a little bit in the holiday spirit when you come out for the seed sale and cottage gardening demonstration on Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. Well, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening.